Okay, so welcome today for the last day of our session. Very sorry for you, Kinjal, for your family. Please take care. And yet, for these few, minutes that you are with us for the last session, see if you can. I can't ask you to forget, but um, just see if you can set it aside a little bit and participate fully. And last day you can take it forward with a lot of and keep this memory in your mind. And the few sessions that you have missed, they are on YouTube. You'll have to look for them and just subscribe to the channel and take it from there. So good morning to the rest of you, and let's just close our eyes for a few seconds. Thank the divine for all the last 15 days, starting from the 27th with Saturday, Sunday off during the New Year Eve, and last week, Saturday, Sunday off. Let's pray for each one of us for the success and for the future. And let's also pray that the divine take care and control this pandemic, which is again causing havoc in people's lives. Every time the world over, people are trying to get back to normalcy. Again, another wave is coming. So let us bless the entire earth with a lot of energy, with a lot of love, with a lot of awareness, a lot of compassion, understanding, blessing to all the families all over the world, all over our country, our state, our city, our area, our family. And finally, God bless each one of us. God bless you guys, all of you who are here. And now let's just decide that for the next 2 hours, we are going to learn about how to learn, how to understand the way we are going to learn from now, because we've already reached a stage where we are adults and we need to adopt a new style of learning. What has worked for so many years may also work, and yet let us see if we can adopt some new ways to take it forward and to be successful forever in whatever area that we want to be in. On that note, so are we ready for today's session for the last day? A big clap and a big yes. Okay. On that note, let's start. Thank you, Isha. Thank you, Poonam. Thank you, Pine. Thank you, Asha. Thank you, Vedehi. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you so much. Oops. So today we begin with the last lecture, and I really wanted to put this right in the beginning. But because last year a friend of mine had taken it, I thought that she'll take it herself. And though I had been working on these slides since, or rather, I can say that I had developed this material like literally more than 30 years ago. I don't even remember when. So just an example of it, that this is the hard copy and I still don't have the soft copy. Okay. So this is the material that I had developed, and these are the 7 pages that I worked upon, and I have made some attempts to put them as slides, but there are some learning theories also, some extra ones in it. So all this handout, a lot of it has been, put together here and brought forth today, including this photograph of this brain that I drew with my own hand. So this is here for you. And last year when my friend did it, the kids kind of, I think, enjoyed it. But this year she was not, well, and she's already got a course on Udemy and all that. So any of you are interested, if you can tell me on my personal chat or in the group chat, then I'll post it over there. And I don't know how much it's costing now, but it's like, I will really get nothing. And I don't even know what she's doing nowadays because I have just drifted a little from her. Okay, so as usual, I have to get up and switch on the fan. I forgot. In the morning when I come here, I feel a little nippy, and I feel that no, today I'm not going to need the fan. But the moment I start the class, I really thank you for giving that kind of, energy, and that, that josh and that enthusiasm and the entire thing, that I just need to have the circulation and the fan on so that I don't feel very cold. So let's start today's session. It's all about learning, or should I say earning with love. Okay, because we are living, as long as we are living, we are learning. So let's watch this beautiful movie that I picked up from YouTube yesterday, and I'll send you a link of it from Top
Hey
Think.
everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about 4 powerful techniques to increase your IQ. Now, let's begin. Have you ever felt like the dullest person in the room? Yeah. Has a low test score made you doubt your intelligence? Many people think their IQ is set in stone. They assume that one bad grade is a recipe for lifelong stupidity, but your intelligence isn't predetermined. The portions of your brain responsible for learning, memory, and other forms of cognition can change over time. As you mature, these regions develop at different rates. Some people will nurture them, helping these regions grow dense and complex. Other people will neglect them, leaving their brains immature and slow. My point here is your intelligence depends on you. While nature certainly plays a role, very few people are doomed from the get-go. But that doesn't mean increasing your IQ is quick and easy. No, while some shortcuts can earn you a few extra points, developing lasting intelligence takes time and a lot of hard work. These 4 techniques each offer you a powerful way to develop your brain and boost your intelligence. Oh, and the very best part is every single one of these techniques is right at your fingertips. So if you want to increase your IQ, incorporate these 4 powerful techniques into your daily routine. Yeah, it may take a bit of hard work, but the reward is a gift that lasts a lifetime. Number 1, independent study. While advanced degrees offer an array of educational opportunities, you can increase your IQ without spending thousands on an expensive program. In this day and age, information's everywhere. If you don't believe me, open a web browser, type in any question you can imagine. Someone, somewhere in the world will have an answer. You'll find research studies conducted on the subject, books written by leading experts in the field, classes taught by experienced professionals. The modern world offers a limitless supply of educational resources. All you have to do is use them. Many of the world's most intelligent people found success outside of traditional academia. They checked out dozens, if not hundreds of books
I'm
from the
not
library. They attended conferences,
discrediting
listened to
your
seminars,
course,
and networked
please.
with others in their field.
They're
They
not
took
doing
advantage
that
of
also.
online courses where they not only learned from the best, but also honed new and unique skills. The information's out there. The resources are waiting to be read, absorbed, and put into practice. There's only one hurdle standing in your way. It's the same reason that most people struggle to educate themselves without traditional schooling. When you study on your own, there's no one telling you what to do. There's no one keeping you in line. There's no one forcing you to read book after book. Outside of the classroom, learning is a game against yourself. If you want to increase your IQ, you're responsible for your own education. If you falter, you won't learn much, but if you can stay self-disciplined, you'll discover an incredible habit which you'll
This
carry
is
with
the
you for the rest of
challenge.
your life. Why is that? Well, because independent study teaches you to love learning. You begin to crave new knowledge and synthesize that knowledge in ways that most people just don't understand. Have you ever noticed the most intelligent people aren't just good at one thing? Their encyclopedic brains excel in specific fields,
I
but they
agree
draw
with
from a
that.
wide bank of information. When you understand a myriad of subjects, your brain processes information in more innovative ways. You discover new solutions, connections, and perspectives which you never would have seen otherwise. So if you're interested in something, anything, just pick up a book, read an article, enroll in an online course. Each and every time you discover something new, your cognitive abilities will grow a little bit more. You don't need teachers, lectures, and classrooms to build your
Nonsense.
intelligence.
You
With
do.
millions of educational resources at your disposal, you can increase your IQ all on your own. Number 2, musical training. Did you learn piano as a kid? Most people played some kind of instrument growing up. Maybe you played in the school band or just learned a couple of songs on the guitar. These days, you may only remember a few chords, but that childhood hobby had a lasting impact on your brain. A study from 1998 in the journal Scientific Correspondence discovered something incredible about musical training. It turns out adults who play an instrument were better learners than almost anyone else. Imagine you're sitting in class listening to a lecture on American history or cell biology. Some students will retain more information than others. Their memories are geared towards certain kinds of stimuli, either verbal or visual. If you have a strong verbal memory, you learn the best from lectures, speeches, and conversations. You retain and process spoken language quickly and efficiently, but if you're a visual learner, lectures aren't your strong suit. Instead, you prefer diagrams and displays which show information in a visual way.
That is visual,
So how do these
auditory,
two
and
types of learning
kinesthetic.
relate to music, you may ask? After reading and memorizing music, adults with musical training demonstrated fantastic verbal memories. In fact, their verbal skills significantly outperformed everyone else in the study. But they're not bad visual learners either. Their visual scores remained on par with the average visual learning. In other words, musicians have a knack for both types of learning. So what do these
Even
results mean for
auditory
you?
learning
If you learn an
and
instrument, you may
kinesthetic.
become a capable learner across the board, absorbing both verbal and visual stimuli. If you can learn in more diverse ways, your brain can process more information than the average person and understand subjects from a variety of angles. Oh, but that's not all musical training does for your brain. A second study from 2009 in the Journal of Neuroscience found that music actually reconstructs the brain. Scientists call this brain plasticity. Brain plasticity means the structure of your brain can change in response to your environment. If your environment is more musical, those changes become more dramatic. Your brain is the most susceptible to change during major periods of development like adolescence and young adulthood. During these periods of significant growth, musical training strengthens the regions of your brain associated with learning, memory, motor skills, and auditory skills. Not to mention, it's also emotionally and creatively stimulating. So pick up the piano, fish your old guitar out of the garage, learn a song or two, or just fiddle with the strings. You don't have to be a world-class musician. A little practice goes a long way. Number 3, strengthening your heart. Physical and intellectual performance go hand in hand. A study from 2009 published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of the Sciences of the United States of America discovered a close relationship between intelligence and athleticism. We often think of brains and brawn as natural enemies, but physical fitness is a great way to increase your IQ, but not in the way most people think. Lifting weights and building muscles isn't going to strengthen your brain, but conditioning your heart might. In this 2009 study, participants with strong cardiovascular systems were some of the most intelligent. Oh,
Exercise
because the heart supplies the brain with oxygenated blood. Your brain needs that blood to think, process, and retain information. Oh, and that's not all. The heart also communicates with the brain in several different ways. Neurologically, the two organs transmit nerve impulses back and forth, controlling integral bodily functions. Your heartbeat, for example, stems from signals in the brain. The heart and brain also exchange information through hormones, pressure waves, and neurotransmitters. So even if your heart can't think, it plays an important role in all kinds of cognitive and psychological functions. So physical fitness isn't just for athletes. Intelligent people need to challenge their bodies too. And that way your brain gets everything it needs to perform at its peak. Number 4, mastering a new language. In our society, language is everything. We use language to express ideas, concepts, and philosophies. We use it to tell stories and document our history, to communicate and build relationships. Without language, humankind would never have evolved into the global force that we are today. That's why understanding language is such a key component of our intellectual abilities. People who understand language excel socially and professionally in our society. So what's the best way to improve your understanding of language? Learning a new language is a great place to start. In a 2012 study from the journal Neuroimage, researchers found that bilingual adults have a huge neurological advantage over adults who speak only one language.
Nowadays, it's
multilingual. Learning a new
multilingual.
language is a lot like musical training. It challenges specific regions of the brain on a regular basis, forcing those regions to expand. The two most important regions are the hippocampus, which controls learning and memory, and the frontal lobe, which moderates problem solving and language comprehension. Adopting a new language leads to a higher concentration of gray matter in both the hippocampus and the frontal lobe. More gray matter allows for more complex cognitive development, and more development means a higher IQ. Oh, the best part of this powerful technique, like all the others on this list, is that you can start at any time. There are dozens of classes, tutors, and books that can teach you a second language in no time. You can even use interactive apps on your phone, which turn language comprehension into an educational game. By taking advantage of these resources, you won't just learn a few new tricks, you'll expand your brain and you'll increase your IQ for years to come. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible.
Okay, so did you like it? They talked only about 4 aspects. So quick revision. The first is, or last is, learn a new language. And then before that, exercise your body so that there's circulation in your body and there's more oxygen being taken in. And because of that, and we're going to be studying about it, that how a lot of oxygen is required by the brain. And for the brain to function, the more oxygenated it is, the more your IQ goes up, the more your alertness, your awareness, everything goes up. Okay. And then what was it? Learn a musical instrument. Okay. So very important also that learning the musical instrument of any sort or getting into any kind of music. So maybe I will be talking about all that here, and learning a musical instrument of some sort. I remember my mother used to push me, and she made us learn sitar, then harmonium, and kind of, where I was going in that place, they had all kinds of instruments. So there used to be times when I used to finish my practice fast on sitar, and then I used to dapple myself and see how people were learning ta dik dik ta tik tik ta dira katta dira kitta dira katta dha dira katta dira katta dira katta dha. So that was tabla, and then harmonium, and then violin. Violin was something that I really couldn't pick up. The sarigama and violin, I just could not manage it at all. So there must be something to do with do re mi, and at that time, probably I was not so good with do re mi or whatever it was. So then came this whole thing that I really realized that I was not much for instruments, but because of the flair, and in my school, I used to make a lot of money singing. And you know how it used to work? That whenever I used to start singing, people used to get so upset, and they used to just take out, money and then offer it to me and tell me, "Chup hone ke liye kya logi Romita?" So then I used to continue doing that forever. And then, in college also the whole thing worked. I was surrounded by awesome people who were very good singers. But because of that, ability to hang on to myself, in spite and despite of being surrounded by extremely good singers, I was convinced that when I get married, my husband will also be a good singer and my family will be a good singer, because wherever I went, even in my new jobs, in my colleges, wherever I went, I always found some very good singers. In my hostel days in NCRT, I had a friend Mona who used to sing for me, and Anuradha also, both of them. And I used to sit and, kind of just appreciate that music and go into their alap. And they were shocked and surprised that I actually like classical music also. I even joined Sangeet Samiti in Allahabad to pursue the sitar and singing. And I kind of, gave up because I didn't think I had that flair. But because of that, you notice in the class also, I keep breaking out into songs. And over a period of time, somehow I'm not bad at all, and I can be like Kapil Sharma, whose basic forte is comedy, but he sings also on the side. And somehow people appreciate him for his singing also. And here and there, he might even get an album with Mika Singh or Guru Randhawa or Badshah. I know all this because I'm watching Kapil Sharma show, and these people keep coming and praising him. So do that. And the first but not the least is that, just, of course, please follow your traditional. Don't listen to them in the way that go independent and all that. Please, I'm not. I don't promote that at all. Today also given an opportunity, I'll join a proper university, a proper college for my degrees and for my pursuing of knowledge. I even had applied and got into Osmania University for MA in sociology. It's a different thing. I could not finish it. I even got into Pune University for MA in English literature, but I could not pursue it. I only could pursue the topics that I really liked. I got in for ICWA and CS also long time ago, and I paid for those courses in that full organization. I just did not have anyone coaching me and helping me out, and I was so petrified of giving the exams, and I could not. It was just wasn't going into my system, so I just let go. I even got in for my law, so for my LLB after my graduation, and actually after my post graduation also, I got through with LLB, and I even stood kind of in the first few. That was what I was told by one of the people who actually helped me fill the form. And one of my friend's husband was in he had central law agency and all that, and he said, Vinu and Romi, I'll take care of your entire books, your fees, everything. And he begged me. He said, my wife is not into studying at all, and Romi, you just seem to be doing your degrees after degrees and your studies, so can you just kind of get together with her? But I could not pursue it for some reason, and I saw that there was some ego battle, and I didn't want to come between the husband and the wife, so I just quietly backed away. And I realized that over a period of time that these things, this whole thing called the ahankar wala ego, and that that fear of whatever it is, I don't know. I don't understand that, because where education is concerned, I just don't understand these things at all. Okay, and as far as life is concerned, I'm still trying to comprehend as to what is it and what can ever stop anyone from learning. And that is my research that led into this whole thing called andragogy, that is adult learning. Okay. So on your screen, you can see from all this while is that children learn in a different way, but adults learn in a completely different way. So the picture over here is not really supporting adult learning, but then, aren't we all children? So, on that note, let's talk about what is basically learning. So, according to the books in psychology, learning is a relatively permanent change in the behavior which can be seen. That is the cognitive behavior. Okay, not just the cognitive, the internal behavior, not the subconscious. Okay, not the involuntary, but the one which is not hidden. Okay, not the covert, but the overt behavior. Okay, so it's basically a lifelong process, from the womb to the tomb, from the cradle to the crematoria. And some way or the other, I've even said that it is a process which starts even before you are conceived. So God knows from which dimension, from where you are coming, choosing your parents the way you are. Okay, learning has already begun when you are even as an energy entering into your parents' life. Okay, from then onwards, and even before that, learning is already on. So please do not underestimate the power of your own divine high self. Okay, I'll just repeat: learning is a relatively permanent change in the behavior. That's it. Okay, which occurs as a result of experience. So as the child keeps on growing, the child keeps on learning, and every little experience, right from the time the child is just you know the budding till the end, and even maybe beyond that, I have no idea what happens beyond that, but I'm still in conversation with my husband, so he keeps telling me it's wonderful, you don't worry about it right now. You'll experience it, when it comes. And I know that it's not my mind speaking, because whatever. Okay, so I don't want to again freak you all out. So it's basically, you know it is not due to any temporary influence of alcohol, drug, fatigue, malnutrition, disease, hypnosis, or maturation, or even malnutrition, which has already been mentioned. Okay, so what are the types of learning? These are the various types. Okay, so we start with the verbal, where when we are very small, we are made to repeat something again and again. That is rote memorization. In Hindi, we call it ratta marna, where we are told that you've got to do it the way it is. Okay, that is the first one. Example is that of a poetry. Baba Black Sheep has been Ratta Maro, Twinkle Twinkle has been Ratta Maro. It's so much into our system that till today, Jack and Jill, went up the hill. All these and many other, the ones in Hindi also. Machli, Jalki, Rani hai. I'll share with you one of my favorites that I learned, and it's not a very common poem. Would you like to hear it? One very cute poem that I learned in Hindi in my Allahabad days when I was in Little Folks Nursery. Anyone? Just, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want one. Thank you, Roshni. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you so many. Oh, thank you, Poonam. Thank you so much. It is like this. अनु बनु थे दो भाई, बातें करते थे हवाई, ये कर लेंगे वो कर लेंगे, मानो सारा जग जीतेंगे, रोज रात को दोनों मिलकर एक पलंग पे सोते थे, जब भी चुआ चू चू करता दोनों मिलके रोते थे. I don't know why I love this poem for some reason. That they was Anu Banu te do bhai, baate karte the hawai. Okay. And yet I don't use Anu Banu as an example. I use Ram and Sham as an example. So I hope you enjoyed it and you can give me some emojis as an encouragement. And if you didn't like it, then I will not do it for the evening kids. But this is getting recorded. So this is going to be thank you so much, all of you kids, for enjoying it. It's just that do you realize that during those days with that rote memorization, there was such nakaratmak, that uh, destructive kind of poems. Jack and Jill went up the hill and to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. And we later on changed it to all kinds of other mischief things that, God alone knows what happened there, but they came back with the daughter. Okay. So when we grew up and when as kids also, when we heard this, that God alone knows what happened there, but they came back with a daughter, we didn't really understand, where did the daughter, come and how does it happen and how did they get married without the Panditji and, without the priest and all that. So there were many other stories that we learned, and a lot of rote memorization was something that was crammed into our head. Okay. And then we also, as we kept growing up, we learned how to walk, we learned how to ride a bicycle, we learned how to, for those kids in the villages and the kids in the town who had swimming pools, we learned swimming, we learned how to draw, paint, all those, to write, all those are psychomotor skills. Okay. Then later on we grew up and we learned how to ride the bike, we learned how to change the gears, we learned how to then drive the car. Okay. And as it went on, when we went onto the corporate world, we learned how to operate certain machines, we learned how to operate the computer, to type. Okay. And in our case, like, when my mom was young, those were the days when girls were always taught how to do that shorthand thing, taking notes and typing so that they could become nice secretaries. I just didn't understand it. So many in my family learned it, and so did my dad. And I asked my father, I said, whose secretary did you want to be? And then he looked at me and his repartee was, I guess your mom's and eventually yours. Because a lot of stuff that I still have right now, when I started I did not know how, I went out there to learn typing. Okay. After my 12th, I came to Pune and in Pitmans, I learned how to type, that motor skills. But I did not realize that as a kid, I had rheumatic arthritis in my limbs. Okay. In my hands, both my hands and my feet. This was found out in my second year when I just could not write anymore and my hands used to pain a lot. And the only way I have been able to keep away from all this is not by taking any medicine or anything, but just been exercising my hands and my feet all the time, all these years. And anytime I have a very, very big disaster in my house and I go through a period of depression and loneliness or anything of that sort, that's when this thing still comes back. Okay. And yet the only way out, guys, is to keep exercising. And the more you exercise whichever part of your body, brain, mind, heart, any limb which is having any issue, just exercise the damn thing. Okay, give it reiki, give it energy of some sort, and you will find that you will be fine. And beyond a point, you will not require anything. Okay. The third concept is, conceptualization. That is remembering things, forming concepts in your mind. As you grow older in school, you start with theorems. So I put over here Pythagoras theorem, and you know about the Pythagoras theorem, na? So the square of both the sides in a triangle make the diagonal, and you multiply that or you plus it or something like that, and then you get the distance of the square of the diagonal thing. So that is a Pythagoras theorem. That way Archimedes also had this, concepts and that aha principle that we're going to be talking about. And similarly, we learned so many concepts. So in these last 15 days, we've learned so many concepts, including yesterday when we talked about Kurt Hofstede's model, Richard Louis' model, Edward T. Hall's model, and Dr. von Strompner's model. So there is also a learning, that is a fourth type of learning, which is serial. Okay, like it is sequential. From childhood, we learn to say A, B, C, D, K, K, G, G. Okay, and we also learned our local language. Um, I don't know what they are. And then, like in Sindhi, it is Alaf Bay something, and that's where my whole sequence thing learning over there ends. And in Urdu, because Sindhi is in the Urdu script. Okay. And we also learn tables. Then we also learned about how, the rainbow, the Vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, what is it, green, yellow, orange, and red. Okay, so that is how we learned all these. Then we learned about the sequence of the planets. Starting from the sun, it starts with Mercury, then Venus, then Earth, then Mars, then Jupiter, then Saturn, then Uranus, then Neptune and Pluto. And after so many years, I still remember all these things because of this kind of sequential learning that was drilled into our head. And recently it was said that Pluto is not a planet and is not been recognized. But do you realize that I still will say that there are 9 planets? Okay. Similarly, we were also taught about the states. Okay. And then we were taught about so many associative connections and learnings also happened when states and their capitals, we started associating. Okay. Till today, I remember the the capital cities of even states like Meghalaya. Come on, anyone else? Okay? Assam is very important, very easy to remember because you keep hearing about Guwahati. But what about Meghalaya? What about Arunachal Pradesh? Which city is Impal? Go ahead. So I remember all these things, but keep activating your brain, keep getting associating, and this associative learning. Okay, when was the first war of Panipat fought? When was the second one? When was the third? Who was in the first war? Second war? The third one? Third one I keep forgetting. Okay, but I remember the dates. So these are the ways it is supposed to be learning, and I do not like history one bit. Okay, and then the theories of learning are as follows: the trial and error, the gestalt learning, the associative learning, the which I've already spoken, the behavioristic learning, there is classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Today I will go through it in a quick revision also. Then there is this latent learning, and then there is imitation and modeling, which we've already discussed in Sigmund Freud's phallic stage, where you start imitating your own gender parents after you've kind of finished imitating your own the opposite gender parent. Okay, so let's take it and see how it goes about. Edward Lee Thorndike was the first one, and was his entire team was the one which came up with trial and error, where this whole story about try, 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 and you keep failing till you succeed. So try and fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, till one day you will succeed. And then try again to make sure that the next time, the second time, third time, fourth time, you don't fail. So when I was in my BA, I was invited by one of my seniors. At that time, her name was Sonia Sachdeva. Little did I know. uh, no, I think I did know. No, no, no. By that time, I knew. Okay, she was also related to my own Masi. Okay, and my Masi had got married in the Sachdeva family. So she was doing her MA there, and she used me as a subject, and I happily volunteered. And then she put me through a series of tests, and one of them was this. And when I joined BA, they made us do the same thing, and it was very easy for me to do it, because what was to happen was, that they had made mazes and all that. So I'm going to be talking about that. So how does this trial and error work? It works on three principles basically. The first principle is the law of readiness, okay, where it says that unless you're not ready to learn, we cannot, no parent and no external negative reinforcement like danda and beating and marks and nothing can actually push you towards learning. And this was proved by my son Divyansh Vishwanath when, right at the first lecture with you guys in the morning, I said, I'm not getting much response, Divyansh, these kids. He said, Mama, please, you're getting too much. I said, what do you mean? He said, five, six of, I said, only five, six people, respond. And I even gave him the names and all that on the first day. So he said, five, six, are you kidding me on the first day? I said, what are you saying? He said, no one, we don't give response to our teachers in the morning. The 8 o'clock lectures, the teacher will just plead to us, beg us, हमारी जिंदगी का वास्ता देता हूं मैं तुमको, तुम बच्चों को, तुम लोग प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड करो. And we keep sleeping, we don't respond. Okay, one of the teachers even said, I'm going to give you all 20 marks for class participation. He said only two kids participated, the rest of us decided to get, our final exams were conducted out of 80 because we did not get any marks in class participation. We were ziddi, useless people. So this is where the law of readiness comes in. Okay, and yet he says that if we really like the teacher, then I'm willing to wake up at even 6 o'clock in the morning and sit for the lecture. And he's actually done that. Okay, so the law of readiness is, I mean, I'm sorry, with due respect, I haven't even told you who that teacher is. And I mean, that teacher was not so bad. I heard some lectures, and I don't know why these people are bad. So big thappar to you kids, for not participating, but not you guys, I mean, like the ones who are participating, love you all. Okay, sorry. So the law of readiness is about that, you it comes from within you, whether the kid wants to learn or not. Okay, so create an enriching environment around the kid, that the kid enjoys utilizing the brain in whatever it is meant to, and then you motivate the kid to learn in different ways. Okay, and I'll keep coming to that. And then there's the law of effect, that is positive or negative reinforcement. Okay, so if you know that you will get a reward, remember Victor Vroom's valence theory, that is the amount of importance you give. So some kids really are suckers, oral stage, remember the first one, that they want to, teacher, we love you, how many marks, mama, I'm doing well in school, and so These people want to succeed because of that. Some people have an innate nature that they want to do well in a particular subject because they are interested, or they want to stand first because, not just because their parents want them to do it, but they have that, inner need for motivation, need for achievement. I mean, sorry, need for achievement, according to that McClellan's theory of needs. Remember, we did that. So remember one thing, that when you succeed and when you feel good about yourself, that is the law of effect. So right now, learn, because you are going to learn to earn respect, earn, love, earn status, earn your esteem needs, earn this thing of belongingness, and of course, earn money, earn power, earn many other things associated with your life. Okay. And then the law of exercise. Practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. There is no substitute to practice. Even today, and even till the last breath, I know Suresh sir was practicing about everything that he used to do. So practicing is very important. Yesterday I spoke about those chapatis, remember? Okay. Seriously, if after 10 years you don't practice, it's like learning the bicycle. You know how to do it, but the first time after 10, 20 years, you sit on the bicycle and initially you will fumble a little. Your first chapati or your second chapati will go a little haywire till you get used to the dough, you get used to but if you keep practicing it daily, then you can just close your eyes and just go and it's done. Okay. So practice, 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 or repetition, repetition, repetition. And that's where the maze learning thing comes in, where we used to be asked to put our hand, and like mice were, food was put at the end of the maze, and the mice were just asked to go. Now they didn't have so much of a cognition that they didn't have to close their eyes. Then these experiments by Edward Lee Thorndike were also done on humans, where actual big mazes were made, or there were small maze which I was given. I remember in my psychology department in Allahabad University, and we had to use our finger of whichever be the dominant hand, whichever was the most sensitive finger, and then we blindfold is to be put, and we had to imagine. So I used to have this whole cognitive map thing, which I'm going to be talking about, and I could get it right very soon. Okay, so when you know that this is not going to work, and you could not use the second hand, and you could just create a structure, first trial, and then second, third. So she used to allow three mistakes. If after three mistakes you have to start from the beginning, so then you have to make sure that the next time you did not get the. So these were some experiments that we learned in psychology. And then now let me talk to you and take you to Gestalt learning. Wolfgang Kohler. Okay, now Kohler, Kofker, and Wedheimer, these were the three people who were actually at it. But Kohler's name comes like more than um, uh, this whole lot. And he was the one. He talked about the Gestalt psychology. So there are plenty of books on Gestalt psychology, and for some reason it is not gaining that kind of popularity in management as psychoanalysis and maybe other subjects are, and Abraham Maslow and all that. But Gestalt learning is about part versus whole, which means what? That if I see just like you've heard about the blind men and four blind men and the elephant. So one was touching the tail, so he said that this animal looks like a snake and feels like a snake. The one who was touching the trunk was like, this guy is like a tree, or the feet, that this guy is like a tree. And the one who was touching the ears felt as if this guy was a big monster, such big ears. And similarly, everyone, if you look at the part of anything, you're not going to comprehend what it is. If in order to come to a solution, you got to look at the thing in a holistic manner. Okay, so you go out there, talk to the client, find out every aspect of where it is pinching the client, Talk to every member in the team, every member in every department, if not at least the representation. Okay. And then you do your own research, your own observations, and then you will get an insight as to what is really happening. And that is called the eureka moment, as according to him, or an aha experience, according to him. Example is of Archimedes, or when you do a sum, you're just working on it and you don't know what to do and how it is going to be solved. And then you are showering, and then suddenly when you're showering, that's the place when you remember. Or you're taking a crap and you remember, and you're like, now I remember. And then you just want to get out and put it down on the paper. And there are times when you get out of that place, and by the time you find your diary and you look for a pen or a pencil, boom, it's forgotten. Okay. So it's always recommended that please keep some diary and pen in your toilet, in your bathroom, because really you don't have to be so stupid like Archimedes, who went around Stark in his birthday suit screaming eureka eureka, and kind of getting the Archimedes principle and about water and that volume and the displacement. Remember, in physics we did that. Then there are times when you have these newspapers and riddles. There are times when you got to write an article, and you got to start a story, or you have got to write a report. And remember all that I talked about in presentation, or you have to make a presentation skill. You're not able to come up with how you start. Okay. So when it is these lectures which are on a daily basis, then you start with a simple good morning and you revise about what you did last time, and then you have your ways. Okay. So but there are times when you have to make an impact. Okay. So how do you do it? You're not getting that. So you look at the entire thing, in an interview also, understand what the company is all about, understand who are the people in front of you, and then you will get a holistic picture, the gestalt picture, and you will get solutions. So here is the case of Sultan the chimpanzee. Chimpanzee was, this guy was the hero. He was the subject of this experimentation, where he was he used to be hungry, he used to be given bananas, and he used to enjoy those bananas, and then they used to make it more and more complex. Okay. Then he used to keep scrambling around, and like didn't know how to reach. He would try to jump, but the walls were smooth and he was not able to reach it. So then he realized that there were some boxes. Then he gets the eureka moment that there are boxes around. So he climbs on those boxes, and then it started with one box. Then they made the whole thing more complex and more complex and more complex. Similarly, in this also, they first had a simple maze, where the rat was put here, the food was there, the rat went ahead, found the cheese, and that's it. And then they came to the second maze, which is a tea maze, when the rat was there and the food was either here or there. Okay. And initially they made sure that the food was on both the places. Just give me a minute. And in this case, you can see the rats are in the maze, but they have complicated the maze. And if you just work your finger around, and you'll be able to, or even your imagery, and you'll be able to get the solution very well. Okay. It's as simple as that. It goes from here and comes here, and that's it. Okay. So I've done this maze thing so much as a kid. We used to get puzzle books, and now also there are many shops, small shops, on University Road, Upper Balwan Chowk and all that, where you just go there and you ask for these puzzle books, and you'll get all these books, and you can even get these on the online thing also on your own. So now let's come to classical conditioning. I've already spoken about the Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov and his dog, and the artificial stimuli. The bell invokes a natural response, that is the saliva. And how does that happen? So at first, when natural food is placed in the dog's mouth, then there is, a natural response, that is an unconditional, response, that is the saliva. But then the second stage is about, pairing the bell with the food. And then what happens is that when the food does not even come, just the sound of the bell makes the dog salivate. Okay. And then we talked about, this is what it, the food came, the dog salivated, the bell came, nothing happened. The bell and the food were paired together, the dog salivated. Now the bell came, the dog salivated. Okay. And then I also spoke about other examples of in your organization, that how you can associate a person's smell, a person's perfume, a person's car honk, a person's sound of good morning, or anything which can either bring in fear in your system, can bring in enthusiasm in your system, can bring in a smile in your system. So the moment you hear a tune also, it may you have associated, you and your family have got some song, which is your family song. So every time, even that song just starts a little, you feel so warm and friendly about your family, and you think about you guys dancing together and being together. So couples abroad during therapy are also told that have that, have a song for yourself, have a movie that you all watch. What may happen, you can watch it again and again. For us it was Golmaal, and I don't know why, and Shall We Dance. Okay. So that was it. And there was so many, Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi. And then I used to love Parent Trap for some reason, I mean, I could see it again and again. And that girl Jennifer Aniston, uh, like, no, not Jennifer Aniston, what was it that, Lindsay Lohan, sorry. Lindsay Lohan, she's a kid over there. So that Parent Trap is such an old movie. And the Hindi version of it with Kajol was not as exciting as that and didn't even do well. So this is the whole thing, and I've already shown you this picture. Then there is extinction, where the bell comes, but the food doesn't come. Bell comes, food doesn't come. So the kid can just forget. Okay, the dog can just forget. And then suddenly after 20 years, the bell happens and the food comes. So the first time the dog gets excited and salivates, but then spontaneous recovery happens, and that's where learning becomes relatively permanent change in the behavior. Then there's discrimination also. Okay, from boss's perfume to the boss's brother's perfume. Are you getting it? And the boss's car to the boss's father's car. Similarly, the teacher's voice from one teacher to another one, and from one bell to another bell, or you start discriminating and making a difference. And then there's generalization also. So there was this case about this baby Albert, where you know there was a little kind of, there was an old man who was trying to tease the kid, and the kid started getting scared of that old man and started crying. At that time there was a kind of that guy had white beard and all that. Okay. So the next time Santa Claus came, the kids started crying also. And then they just saw that they got a little mice, which was moving, and it was a fluffy thing. And the kids saw it, and kids started crying. Any white fluffy toy, any cotton wool also given to baby Albert, the kid would start crying, because the kid had kind of started associating anything white and fluffy with something that it was scared of, and it needed to cry. So this was baby Albert, and the it was actually first the furry rat, sorry, and then the child started getting scared of Santa Claus and all the old people and anything, which was a white toy and or a wool or something like that. So this was JB Watson. Okay, JB Watson did this experiment, and that's how it happened. And I've already spoken about JB Watson also to you guys. So now let's come to BF Skinner's, like Skinner box. So the rat and the lever, I've already talked about it. This is a process of operant conditioning, where the stimuli is given after the response comes. Earlier, the stimulus was given first and associated, and then the response or the reaction came. Okay. But here, until and unless the rat does not press the lever, or the pigeons do not press those color switches, and food pellets will not be given to them. So this is how people are trained in circus, animals are trained in circus, and people are trained in life also. You do your work for the entire month. At the end of the month, when you are good, you've attended all the days, only then you will get the salary in whole. Okay. Otherwise, it will be cut. Otherwise, there will be some, problems. You'll be thrown out of a team, etc., etc. So people are basically conditioned human beings, whether it is classical conditioning, okay, or it is operant conditioning. And this kind of conditioning is the behavioral thing where the environment, how you treat the environment, okay, and how the stimulus comes from the environment. So your action and your reaction, all this controls what is happening external thing, and it is not from within you. Okay. If you it's not up to you, okay, so to do it. So whether it is negative or the positive, the consequence. So dogs are trained like that, okay. They have those little treats. They are told to roll, okay. They're told to roll, they're told to roll, and by mistake if they roll, then a little, reinforcement is given. Then the dog is like, again, what did I do right? Okay. So one day they only turn to roll, then the next day they only turn to shake hands, okay. And then, speak is like, they are supposed to bark, okay, and they're supposed to bark only once. And then they are getting negative reinforcement when the dogs tend to jump and they want to, grab the treat that, they know it's coming from this person. They are observant also. So this is where now the next part also comes in. So there's reward, there's punishment, there's omission also, and then there's escape. Okay. So now let's look at the latent learning. This is also where the maze thing comes in. Okay. And a mental map is formed, and a scheme is there, and cognitive learning is there. Okay. So this latent learning is like, as I told you, that when I used to do the map thing, okay, I used to do it mentally. I would, even as a kid, I was trained by my father and by my uncle. These two were really good with road sense. Okay. So then as a kid itself, my dad used to say, Romy, be aware. When I'm taking you on the scooter somewhere, you should know the road. You should know how to come back in case something happens, in case an accident happens, in case the family is, indisposed. You should, and you are okay. Okay. You should know how to look for ways of, coming back home, or looking for help and all that. So when we had gone to London and when we had gone to Paris, that's where my uncle also started training us and telling us, to become aware of the roads, because we used to walk a lot, and we had to walk back to our hotel. And there was a day when, my aunt was getting cramps, and then she was like, my uncle had just accepted her the way she was, and my uncle told me, Romy, go back. Then I told him, I said, I don't know the way back. And he said, come on, you have been aware. And then I just thought about it. And I remembered my dad's training as a kid. And I said, yes, I can take her back. He said, are you sure? I said, yes, I can. So I just helped her out and took her back to the hotel and made sure that, put balm for her and made her rest. And then they told me where to join them. And they said that we will be at Selfridges in this department. Just come and find out. And imagine, as a 14-year-old girl in a new country altogether, I found my way. And from the hotel, I just kind of, walked it up to this Oxford Street on and went to Selfridges and found them. And there was no cell phone. There was nothing over there. There was no GPS. There was nothing like that. So cognitive learning is, that there is something inside us, and that talent, and we just form a scheme, we just understand, we associate, we actually use all the methods that I've talked about, and then we come up with our learning. Okay. Now I'm realizing that this itself has taken 1 hour. So, guys, imitation and modeling is again something where we just observe our elders, we observe our leaders, we observe our superiors, our teenagers, sorry, teachers, our juniors, our subordinates. We just observe them, and we simply learn by watching. There's another story that I could give from that I learned from NLP. that observation is such a beautiful way. And I'll give you one example which is really close to my heart, which is my own example. When I wanted to learn swimming, I was at that time 22 years old. I can't forget it, that I learned swimming at such a late age. And in spite and despite of the facility of swimming pool near my house, somehow there was some reason why, my parents did not, but anyway, whatever it was, I learned at the age of 22. So when I went over there, there was a Mr. Tripathi, and he said that I will teach you swimming in 3 days. I said, sir, 3 days, are you kidding me? There are people who take months. He said, no, no, all that is not required. 3 days. I said, what, considering my age and how old I am and all that. He said, okay, give yourself top 5 days. So 5 days happened and I learned swimming, but I could swim only with my face under the water. Okay. The moment my face, if I had to get out of the water to breathe, I would drown. Okay. And because of that, I was unable to go towards the deep end and I was unable to swim. Because how long could I hold the breath? Now, that swimming pool where I learned in Hotel Regency in Allahabad next to my house, it was like, even and during those days, Yatrik pool, all these pools had the deep end and they had the shallow end. And in the shallow, it was a very small pool. So when sir insisted, come to the deep end, I really pumped my blood and he said, just kept saying, look up. And I said, if I look up, I will drown. Okay. And he kept showing me that push the water down and then just look up. And every time I did it, it didn't happen. I just drowned. Okay. My whole body drowned and I used to struggle. And there were times I would go backward and I just could not, and, hold on. And I literally slipped a couple of times and I just coughed and all that. And then finally, 5 days were over. And then I went back home and I started crying. I said, 5 days, sir said. He said 3 days. I didn't do it in 3 days. 5 days have gone and I have not been able to learn to swim. So that's when the sixth day, when sir came, I was not in my costume. So he said, what happened? You're not in your costume and you're not practicing. I said, sir, practicing is not working for me. Trial and error is not working for me. Okay. I have to do imitation and modeling. Okay. So this cognitive thing is also not working for me. I'd already finished my, you know, BA and MA. I mean, I was in my MA in psychology that time. So I was like, sir, this is not working for me. And I need to do imitation and modeling. And he was like, yeah, kya bol rahi hai? So I said, sir, please you swim. I'm going to watch you. You won't believe it. He understood what I said. Okay. He just quietly went, got into his costume and came and he just jumped in. Okay. And he just swam. He just swam. And I just kept sitting there outside, fully, no costume, nothing. Okay. Not even under my dress. And I just watched him in my salwar suit or whatever I was wearing that day. And I kept watching him from all angles. I kept going around and watching every moment of his. And for a good 15-20 minutes, non-stop, this guy kept swimming, all kinds of strokes. And I just thanked him and I went back home. I did not I did not get into the pool at all that day. I went back home. I closed my eyes. I imagined myself in the pool. I did this process called psychocybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Please write it down. Okay. And I wish I had made a full slide on it, but guys, you all are probably ready for it. Okay. So this was how I learned my swimming. And from then onwards, it was very easy for me to learn how to drive the car, to operate any machine, to do anything. And remember, I was already good with chapatis. I was already good with cutting. I was already good with chopping, and I was already good with pissoing and with cleaning and with a lot of this sorting out between that kankar and taking it out from the dal. You all don't have to do all this because nowadays everything has become very easy. Everything has become very clean. Everything, we have picked up a lot of good things from the Western world, where farmers and companies are already doing it for us. So Tata has already started selling dal chawal also. Okay. So similarly, I mean, it's a huge business out there. Okay. To make life convenient, but then learn it by imitation and modeling. These are two cute images that I really liked. I really hope that you can see them, and they're so cute. And ultimately, please learn to listen, experience, appreciate, remember the new, love, enjoy, ask, respect, and rest right now. Okay. So with all this is all the acronym that I keep experimenting and doing it. So let's get on to the andragogy. That is what is adult learning. Okay. So I'll give you a 5-minute break as soon as possible, and I'll put on a video for you all also. So just watch the video and take that break, because there are 9 ways of learning. So if you miss certain parts of the 9 ways, don't worry. And please, I apologize in advance. There's something about, the act of lovemaking also that increases your brain power, and all that little bit of is there. So please forgive me. I'm treating you like adults, okay? And at the same time, if somebody is finding it offensive, please don't look at the video. Take a break. And the other aspects. So there are 9 aspects, okay? And that one is there, and that's why I was hesitating to start with that. And that one actually, this particular one which I'm going to show you now is actually a better video than the others. And please find it in the YouTube, and please post it. Okay, if one of you posts it, and I will thank you. I think the teachers are going to accept it. And let's understand that at your age, my mother was already married with my sister also. Okay, so let's not get into the taboo of the whole thing. And if you still haven't learned about it offline, please come. I'll give you some books, and I will discuss certain things, and make sure that that aspect of your life is also taken care of. That aspect of your life also being the fulcrum of your personality after your marriage, will be also taken care of, whether you're a boy or a girl. Come on. Okay, you all are babies, and um, you know like, let's grow up. Okay. So part of being an effective educator involves understanding of how adults learn best. Very important. Okay. And that's where I really kind of, pat my back, and I've been doing this because I really wanted to make a difference. Okay. Andragogy, that is not pedagogy, but andragogy, adult learning, emphasizes the value of the process of learning. It uses approaches to learning that are problem based and collaborative. Okay. And unless you don't have a learning partner, or you have a team, or you have a necessity, that first factor in the first video, that learn on your own, you got to be crazily motivated, like some idiots, like the undersigned and other people around who will actually learn on their own. Otherwise, I'm telling you, it's really, and forgive me for using that word idiot, because idiot actually means low in intelligence, very, very low. The person can't be trained. Okay. And these people who are absolutely low in intelligence go out there to keep learning. I don't know why, how, what motivates them. I'm talking about myself, guys. So just forgive me for it. And I do not understand how you kids are not into learning. Okay. Some of you, that is, including my own son, he would rather kill people on the computer, unknown people. What nonsense. What kind of parents have given birth to him? Such destructive act. Okay. And then he's talking about selfishness. Oh, not to be selfish. Where are the selfless values? Okay. So it uses approaches to learning that are problem based and collaborative rather than didactic. So please check out, if you don't know the meaning of didactic. Even yesterday, I also asked myself, I said, what is didactic? And then for some reason, I just forgot. But then it's like, you know, check it out. And also emphasizes more equality between the teacher and the learner. Learning should be basically an exchange, like an interview. Okay. And adults are internally motivated and self-directed. These are the 6 principles of adult learning. The second is adults bring life experiences, knowledge to learning experiences. They are goal oriented, they are relevancy oriented. What's it in for me? They're practical, down to earth. And most important is they like to be respected. So please don't make people feel as if they're dull. Make your learning so easy that it goes in and you feel special about it, and you realize that it is something that you can pick up always. Never ever bring down your parents and grandparents who are grappling with their machines, that is with their computer or with their smartphones, and they don't know how to operate Zoom, or they don't know how to operate Google Meetings. Please help them. Okay, adult learning is concerned with acquisition of new skills, knowledge, and attitudes. It is a change in behavior. And trust me, I have a video on change also, which I could show you, but I don't have the time. It's like more than 9 minutes long. It is a change in behavior as a result of experiences. And that's the relatively permanent change that we're talking about. It's in doing that they learn. Okay. Getting to know each other, setting positive feelings to get in what is expected. Will my needs be met or not? The structure of the program, they are very much into structure, time structuring. Remember, we talked about it: withdrawal, the rituals, the time pass, the intimacy, the activity, and also the games people play. So people start playing games when they really don't know what to do with their time. Politics and all these, victimization, persecution, all this happens because there's no structure. They get bored, they start playing with their own mobile, they go to sleep. Okay, so there has to be a structure, and then there has to be a process of learning, and a some sort of rules and regulations. So it's all about energizing, evolving expectations, what they want and what your expectations are. And that's why you'll notice for the first 2 3 sessions I kept asking you, what are your expectations, what are your expectations, what are your expectations? And these are my expectations, these are our expectations, these are our expectations, these are my expectations. So explain what you're going to do, what is the structure going to be, and keep using the left brain and the right brain, that is activities and the whole works. So there's a lot of other things, only when they need to, through application of the past experience, through various methodologies, by solving problems in informal environment, through participation and through doing. And that's why I'm also a very successful soft skills trainer, and I have worked for many many companies. I wish I could show some photographs. They're all over, and I'm not into showing off that much. Okay, so one day maybe one of you can take many photographs of various companies, put their logos, and then make a kind of YouTube thing with all kinds of and just show it as to the companies that Suresh sir and I have worked together, where you'll find very few photos of the undersigned. You'll find more of Suresh sir around because he never really cared to take my photographs. How mean of him. So self-obsessed. But he was self-obsessed and I was obsessed about him. So it just worked out for us. So this is how it works. And this I'm going to be talking about in more detail. That is concrete experience, doing, having an experience, reflective observation, that leads to abstract conceptualization. And then when they put it into experimentation, then only they feel the cognitive experience. And unless they don't have the cognitive experience, they are not going to reflect about it and observe about it, review, and go on to the experience, get into the abstract concept, make some changes, get into active experimentation. So it's a cycle that continues. And surface learning doesn't stay, it's the deep learning. Okay, and the 4 stages of the deep learning are the ones which I've just discussed with you guys. Okay, this has already been said by Confucius in you know yesteryears, way before Lord Jesus was born. And he said, tell me something and I will forget, show me and I will remember. Visual. Okay, so the more visual you use, I may remember. May. Okay, May, June, July, wala May. Okay, so involve me, let me get my hands dirty, then I will understand. And the last sentence has been put by me and my husband, and we teachers, let me teach you that subject, let me become a trainer, let me go on to the other side, let me master it, and in order to master it, let me start teaching other people. Because in teaching, I will master it. It's you have no clue, you guys, that it's you guys who teach us how to be better teachers. And what Suresh sir used to say, there is no bad student, there are only bad teachers. Now don't go by that movie Bad Teacher. Huh? It's quite a non badmash wala teacher. So go through this and take a break, and I will just 1 second. Where is it, yeah? Yeah, here it is. Okay.
9 proofs you can increase your brain power in a week. The human brain is probably the most mysterious organ in our body. Scientists keep learning new facts about its work, but it still hides a lot of secrets. That's why we decided to acquaint you with the brightest discoveries of the last few years in the field of brain research. There are a few simple ways to boost your intellect and improve your brain power, and they will surely surprise you. Golly, I could sure use that. Well, keep sitting there and you'll learn something. Number 9, chronic lack of sleep worsens memory. Scientists from the University of California at Berkeley have found convincing proof that a lack of sleep can worsen memory and cause Alzheimer's. During a full night's sleep, brain cells remove toxic compounds dangerous for our brain. If a person never gets enough sleep, it has a devastating effect on their brain cells. Number 8, prolonged stress destroys the brain. A decrease in memory, in the ability to learn, in self-control. These are the consequences that chronic stress is fraught with. Also, it contributes to a person feeling irritation, anxiety, tension, and often being distracted. Number 7, love and hate have a lot in common. British scientists found that love and hate originate in similar brain areas. However, unlike hatred, love significantly reduces the activity of the areas responsible for judgment and logical thinking. Well, that explains a lot. Yeah, keep sitting there, man. Number 6, the brain is sensitive to dehydration. Our brain is almost 80% water. Therefore, even a moderate loss of fluid, about 2%, reduces concentration and vigilance and leads to the deterioration of short-term memory and other cognitive abilities. Number 5, pregnancy changes the brain structure. Scientists prove that pregnancy reduces the amount of gray matter in the brain areas responsible for social cognition and the ability to understand other people. All of it is necessary to strengthen the mother-baby connection, help a woman understand the needs of her child, and notice possible external dangers. Number 4, the abundance of sugar in the diet worsens memory and reduces the ability to learn. The abundance of fructose in the diet slows down the brain and reduces its ability to learn, remember information, and concentrate. This is because the excess sugar destroys neural connections in the brain. Scientists emphasize that industrially produced sugar is much more harmful, added to soft drinks, seasonings, sauces, and baby food. However, products containing omega-3 fatty acids, such as fatty fish, nuts, and fish oil, remove the consequences of the disorder. So we should have a can of sardines with a root beer. Yum. Number 3, romantic love and maternal feelings are very similar. It turns out, according to brain activity, romantic relationships and maternal feelings are very similar, but there are differences as well. For example, passionate love activates the brain areas related to sexual arousal. In addition, the feeling of anxiety and fear decreases, and the feeling of euphoria increases. Maternal love activates the areas responsible for the formation of affection. Aww. Number 2, painting improves the work of the brain. A study showed that painting and contemplations of works of art improve the interaction between brain areas while slowing its aging. Scientists studied the influence of art on people aged 62 to 70 years old. Half of them took a course in art history, and the other half took a course in painting. Painting classes gave a stronger result than art history. So pick up a brush. And number 1, reading trains the brain. Oxford scientists prove that the process of reading trains the cognitive abilities of the brain. It also activates areas that aren't used at other times. While reading, blood enters the brain areas responsible for concentration and cognition. It's noteworthy that this effect doesn't occur while watching TV or playing computer games. So what are you waiting for? Grab an interesting book, brain a great workout. Tolstoy, anyone? Hey, count me in. Yeah. Are we talking about War and Peace or Anna Karenina? Don't forget to hit the like button below the video and click subscribe to join the bright side of life.
I hope you all actually liked this video, and quick learnings, quick recap. Anyone? Did you like it? Can I get a yes or a no? Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Asha. Thank you so much. And some of you must have taken a break also. So I'm going to make sure that it's the bright side video. So if any one of you can find it on YouTube and put it on the group right now, okay? Do not waste time, because then once this session is over, you all will forget about it, and then I can be able to also find it and put it, and yet, even I'm like you all. Okay, so this is all about, this particular one. Just take a screenshot and just put it into, let me take away this, and yeah, fine, take a screenshot of it. Okay, and it's like really heavy, huh? It's like really heavy, but this is actually telling us how adults are very different from young kids. Young kids could be just, teacher was responsible for them, parents were responsible for their learning, for their marks, and there was a different way. So that is the reason why I always find it, personally I find it actually very tough to teach kids. Frankly, I didn't even teach Divyansh. And I have in my neighborhood some, youngsters were telling me, Auntie, aap mere bacche ko sikha do, and ye wo. Of course, I started off with taking tuitions in class 9th and 10th students, and went on to even going, or rather, I should say, went back to even training kids who were in class 4 and 5 for Mayo College, Ajmer, and for Gwalior Sindhya and all that. And yet I actually only attracted kids eventually who were in class 9, 10, who would come to me not for regular tuitions, but they would come to me for a few days, and they would get their concepts cleared and they would go, because I was very clear that I didn't want to hang around and force myself just to get some minor fees from the mother and waste time, because that happened with two kids, okay, Ankit and Taksh, and not two. Who was that? Sadaji, Sandeep. Okay, so that Sandeep, Ankit, and Taksh. These were the three kids who used to come to me every day, and they had to come separately, and it was very irritating. And this Sandeep kid was so nice, that he would come in the morning. Okay, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the dark, the bell would ring, and most of the time I used to be awake to open the door for him. And sometimes, I got so irritated, I used to just open the door and I used to tell him sit over there. And where I was sleeping was where the dining table was also. I didn't have a room of my own, so it was like really cute and fun. That kid was such a lovely fellow. I can't get over him. Anyway, so all these kids are married with really, like kids of their own. And only Taksh was the one who had a little bad luck in his marriage initially, and now he's got a small kid. Okay, so God bless him. And these guys are above 40. Yeah, I mean, like there was hardly any age difference between at that time, and I started so early. So I'm not asking you, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there is a difference between little kids and how the adults, like you kids, learn. So please understand what your learning pattern is. Understand and look at this last part, that is the internal motivators. Okay, so your internal learning and your motivation towards learning is going to take you a long way. Okay, and this is again about the same thing that I've talked about. Okay, um, basically concrete experience, okay, reflective experience, abstract conceptualization, active experimentation. And this happens by diverging, by assimilating, by converging. Okay, I've done all this with you all already. Okay, and just and then we've also done this, that is sensory acuity, that is those five senses are used. So the visual, the audio, and the kinesthetic. You remember this? Any of you respond? You remember it? Have you unmuted to respond? Okay, Asha, thank you. I think Asha, you got unmuted also. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So thank you so much. And it is already there here. See, this whole thing is there. If you want, I can go through it. But whatever he spoke about, everything is already there in the notes that I had prepared before I came across this video. So I'm going to be running you through that, but quickly looking at this sensory acuity. I've already done this whole thing about being happy and all that, and then the neuro linguistic programming. And these are the five senses that we keep using: the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic, the olfactory, and gustatory. But the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, the VAC way of learning. If you're a visual way, please look for pictures, look for videos, okay, look for all that. But if you are a combination of visual and auditory, then again, videos and lectures will really work. And then if you are the type who needs to touch, then get hold of books. And the best way is also to write notes, okay, and to go back and close your eyes and feel the whole thing, feel that you're already there, feel that you are touching it, feel that you are in the environment, and take it that way. So these are the ways in which we learn, okay, and these are the ways in which we perceive. So these are the ways we kind of learn forever. And remember the movie Black, when this girl could not hear anything, she could not see anything. So how does she learn? The only way she learned with the help of Mr. Bachchan in that movie was, with her teacher. He was the only kind of, teacher who was lost without a student, where he could train such rare cases. Okay, a person who could not hear and a person who could not see. They just couldn't form any speech, because how does speech come out of her? She could talk, but she didn't know what to talk. She could only make sounds like an animal. And she could never even comprehend ever in her life as to how to speak. Okay. So not being able to speak was, if you cannot see and if you cannot hear, then your life is just lost. So visual and audio are very important, and kinesthetic is also something that movie really shook us and made us understand and value life. So every time I complain about my life, I think of that movie Black. I think of Nick Viju and think of all these people, and I learn about all these things, and I just feel that remove the bugs, remove the things that are bothering you, whatever is hanging, and anything that is getting, just reboot your life. It's more easily said than done, but trust me, if I'm saying it, then I've obviously worked hard on myself since the past, 789 days today, since my whole world came crashing down. And so these are the methods that we had talked about, and we had gone on to it. And a lot of people that told me that they enjoyed all this. Okay. So I wish I could have spoken a lot more in detail, but we can do it maybe, some other time. So happy learning. Okay. Now, what happens is that initially, when you're small, I mean, I'm talking about even as an adult, you don't know a concept. So then you don't even know that you are incompetent about something. So the first stage is unconscious incompetence, when you're not even aware that you don't know something, you don't know what you don't know. Then comes the awareness, and then you take the next step where you are at least aware that you are, incompetent, that you don't know. Now you know that you don't know. Okay, then you become conscious, and then you start practicing a bit, and you can't kind of develop your habit. You look for ways and you look for methods of finding it, and then you start grappling in the whole thing, and there comes the fact that you know how much you know, and you also know how much you don't know. Okay, so then there is what is called conscious competence, where you are aware. Okay, you are like in a stage where you're grappling, you started crawling, you started moving, and now you start getting up. Okay, and now you start climbing bigger hurdles with patience and with continued practice. You then go on to develop what is called unconscious competence. Okay, so that forms into a habit. And the word habit is simply, I'm sure you must have heard about it, that you remove the H. Okay, a bit is still left. You remove the A, bit is still left. You remove the B, it is still left. And you remove the I. Okay, T is still left. And that T is what drives you to say, I can't, I won't. Okay, so let's remove the T of the can't. You can if you think you can. And this is the second half of the session, that is improving your memory, study, and reading skills effectively. So we saw this movie, and this is something that I had written long time ago. So I'm just going to read it out. I don't remember what I had written. I have not wrote memorized this at all. This is the first time, guys, I'm taking this lecture. So I've not practiced it enough. Okay, so we are living in the age of knowledge explosion, scientific advancement, and technology development. It is therefore necessary to improve ourselves by acquiring retentive minds, good concentration, and reading skills. They are all tightly interrelated, and when one improves, the others also improve. It's all simple. They're all so there. So if you just pick up one skill, okay, if you pick up even like how to concentrate, your reading skill will go up, your retentive mind will also go up. If you just kind of become a good reader, you will develop your concentration, you'll develop a very good retentive mind also. Intelligence is mainly the measure of the above skills. Okay, the retentive mind, the good focus and concentration, and the reading skill, it can therefore be acquired. Okay, and earlier it was proved, some of the people like in the yesteryear said that after the age of 15 or after the age of 20, your brain stops working, and the learning just stops. Then you go through what is called a plateau, and then as you grow older, you start deteriorating. The learning curve was like it goes up in the childhood, and then it stagnates, and then it goes out. But then Dr. Walter Scott Dill Scott said long time ago, president of the Northeastern University, that it is more than probable that an average man could, without any injury to his health, increase his efficiency by 50%. He said that you can, if you reach that plateau, it those were the days when there was not much stimulation around for the elders. They started going on to mundane jobs, and they had to be in the factory, they had to be, mothers had to be in the house cooking and cleaning, doing the same things every day. So where was, okay, that's how Lady Moses and Putli Bai, also who got the President's Award later, and at the age of 92, for her paintings all over, and she became very famous overnight. On TV, I saw her. So Lady Moses also picked up that at the age of 75, that is latent learning. Okay, so because of these people, and because of such experimentations done sporadically here and there, Dr. Walter Dill Scott just said that you can improve it by 50% of what you are right now. I can just tell you that you can improve your memory and your reading skill and your learning skill even if you're 85, if you are motivated to do so. And you can continue to be very, very intelligent, continue to be smart, continue to be efficient till you are even 100 years old. Because I have met a person in, I've seen him, talk to him, and those were the days where we didn't have smartphones, and I could not take selfies and all that. but this gentleman was like more than 100 years old, and he was very, very intelligent. Okay, and my mother-in-law has already told me that she's going to live up to 116 years, and I don't know where that she's got that figure. Actually, I know, but forget it. So, and I'm not going to be there to watch her to come to that age, because right now she's 90, and for another 26 years, I don't think I'm going to be alive that long. Okay, so God bless her. So the what now that let's come to the reading habits. How many of you are readers? Quickly raise your hands, or say yes, I'm a reader. Me, say type me or something like that. Readers, I want readers. Okay, Poonam, very good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Kinjal, last time I think you had told me that you were a reader. Anshu, very good. Asha, very good. Okay. Two participants have raised their hands. Who are you guys who've raised your hands? Okay, so Asha has raised their hands and another person raised their hands. They've lowered the hand also. No, two have raised their hands. Who's the other person? Poonam and Asha. Okay, Poonam and Asha have raised their hands. Thank you so much. So good, 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 good. Okay, so there's just four readers in this group. Anshu, Safa is also there. Okay, and anyone else? Guys, I just forgotten. Give me a sec. This is a book by Father McGrath. Okay. And I met him also when I went to XLRI for my course. And when I met Suresh sir also, he at that time acquired a new book. Okay. When he was there in 77, okay, 75 to 77, when he was doing his MBA, that was the time when Father McGrath used to give out notes on basic managerial skills for all. Can you see this book? This is by Father McGrath. Okay. Recently, he's passed away, and he had written some, major books and all that. And I'm talking about recently means just not more than 5 years ago. Okay. And Father McGrath in this basic managerial book, this is, I think, my book. No, 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 no. This is Percy sixth edition, and sir has kind of given this as a gift to me, and the date was in '07, that is in 2007, 23rd of March. As and he just kind of wrote, dearest Romita, you certainly have uh, these managerial skills. May Father McGrath help you empower. May Father McGrath empower you help you empower your students with the same. Sorry. May Father McGrath help you empower your students with this. So in this, I will just show you that the first 33 pages of this book are all about how to read. Can you please have a look at it from here? And I could kind of, stop sharing for a minute. I could stop sharing. And now those on the mobile phone can also see it. Okay. So how to read, and look over here, first 33 pages. And he has written the title in the content page for the first 33. So it is, how well do you read? People who read are the people who lead the tremendous audience of one, a biologist and his reading, training your eyes, reading eye to eye, down the pyramid, rapid rhythmic reading, homemade reading machine, read to me, is that cricket, old champ, mind training for better reading, first step survey, second step question, third step read, fourth step restate, fifth step review, be an active reader, how to read a newspaper, reading the newspaper critically, can the press tell the truth, stay alive all your life, read quickie questions. And I am going to be talking about reading in the next 5 slides. And trust me, what I have picked up is not from his book, it is from some other book. And I have given the reference, and that book is probably lying somewhere with me also. And I've not looked at it because I had literally, okay, Soham Vedai, you guys are also good readers. I'm so glad that you all have responded. I'm so glad there is one or two more who also. या Safa. Where they, so thank you so much, all of you readers. I really love you. And I've already told you about the story about when I was traveling in the train and a gentleman was sitting reading, and I started talking to him. He saw that I was also reading, and he was quite elderly, and I don't remember his name. I don't remember even which journey it was, but I just remember the scene, and I can just have the experience of deja vu every time I think about it. And then he told me, Romita, there are two types of people in the world, and do you know who they are? And I just looked at him and smiled. I said, "Tell me, sir." And he said, "There are the readers." And I waited for him. And he waited for me to answer. He thought I will interrupt, but he didn't know that I will not, that I was born, I was, I'm a listener. Okay. So then, he said, "There are the readers." And I looked at him again. I said, "Yes, sir." And then he prompted, "Go ahead, tell me." And I just wanted him to say it. And then he said, "Romita, there are the readers, and then there are the others." So I'm very sorry. I really apologize profusely and profoundly. When I give this example to my mom, when I give this example to my cousin, when I give this example to the people around me, quite a few people got angry. Okay, my mother, of course, denied. She said, "I'm a reader. I've always, I'm in." And I was like, "Really?" Okay. But yes, I don't know what happened. Kuch to nazar lagi from Samantha, maybe, my cousin, or, the others didn't even allow me to say this. But I am, my entire family, whether it was my uh, Amma, Baba, Mamu, then Dada, Mama, that is, I'm talking about my four grandparents and my great grandparent, then my father, my uncle, my this thing cousin Shalini, then my sister. Oh my God, I have got my entire life. I'm indebted to her. She can then now kill me. She can do what she wants. The fact is that it was my sister right now. Mrs. Umita Mirpuri. She was the one who goaded me, pushed me, picked me, and she sat down like a mother and got me interested in reading. And for my entire life, मैं कुछ भी कर लूं, it will never be sufficient. And there was a stage in her life when she stopped reading, where she got very caught up in the mundane, kyuki saas bhi kabhi bahu thi kind of drama. And I pushed her back into reading. So in my own way, when she went back to reading, she kind of did not come back and thank me that you have fulfilled the debt. तुमने माँ के दूध का कर्ज दे दिया. Because where she was concerned, she was the mother who got me into reading. And I noticed that certain people in her life could not be readers, and that is why she kind of was very upset. And the whole thing is that there are really the readers and the others. So, guys, please come into the category of the special people called the readers. And let me just get back to the screen and take you. So, how do you read the vertical reading technique and identification for newspaper reading and for reading books? So, I'll start with reading the books, I hope, because if I haven't, what is this? I can't read the top. Okay. So the finger reading technique is, first thing first is like, take the book and put it upside down. Okay. When you put it upside down and use your finger, remember when you were a child and when you started reading, your teacher used to tell you, put the finger on the sentence and then read like this. And at the end of the sentence, stop and then go back and read like this. Read like this. So this is how you follow. But this time, as an adult, what you do is put the book upside down, ulta kar do, and then use your finger and start reading that. Okay, you will have trouble. Now, why am I making you do this? And do it silently. Okay, don't do it loudly, because when you are reading loudly you will fumble. Okay, you will fumble because you're not very comfortable with that reading. When I had to learn Hindi reading, I followed this whole principle, but I had it, proper. And now also I struggle with Hindi reading. English reading, it comes to me like this because I've really practiced this process of putting the book upside down and doing this. Go on increasing your speed, go on increasing your speed, and you will find inverted book. Then that same paragraph, same page, make it straight, and then don't use your finger and just follow the eyes and do it. So this is the first technique. Second technique is move your finger only in the central position of the line. This is for newspaper reading. Okay, that move your position, or even for book, you'll notice that books have got, like, whether it's a Mills and Bones or it's any other self-help book or something, this book will always have a margin on the left side and a margin on the right side. Okay, so there are blank spaces on the left side and there are blank spaces on the right side. When you see that, a lot of time is wasted in reading the blank. The periphery of the eyes tends to read the blank also. So now you practice with your finger, where you start with at least two or three words before that blank space. Okay, you can take a ruler, a simple ruler, and draw a pencil, okay, on both the margins, and the margins have to be where the written thing is. Okay, you draw that, and then you take your finger and start with, the word which is two three words which is, before the left margin, and start reading that way, and stop your finger and follow your finger's eyes till the two three words before the right margin. Got it? And do that again and again. Okay, so what will happen is that your eyes will stop reading. It will be like blinkers, where you will stop reading the blank space. When you do that, then you start reading a lot more faster. And do this exercise again and again. Do it with the newspaper because the columns are very small, and then when people look at the column vertically and read, they read like this. They don't read the full sentences at all. Okay, you're not meant to read the full sentences. You're only meant to read, some keywords. The sentences just follow themselves. If you want to be a fast reader, you've got to just look at the vertical, because there's so many articles, there's so much of the newspaper every day, so much of the newspaper comes. Do you think it is possible to read all the time? Have you noticed that the business of newspaper has gone down because your elders have stopped reading it, or they're reading it in their local language, and you just feel the need to read it in the English language? And I would really suggest that all of you start, getting Times of India or any other English, because even Indian Express is a good one, but because it's not very interesting, I feel that way. Though I can't say anything. It's just that my mother-in-law still gets Indian Express, and my father-in-law also liked only Indian Express. So I kind of, probably have a bias or a prejudice against them. And my husband used to get Times of India and even Economic Times. And now I'm only getting Times of India. Okay, I've stopped Economic Times because I wasn't reading it. Okay, and it was just a waste. And okay, whatever it was, you're getting it. So you just follow that same technique and keep doing it. For newspaper technique, as I told you, it's not like this. You have to just draw a line in between that column and just follow that finger like this, and you'll really find that your speed keeps on increasing. Okay, invert the book, follow the finger, and second thing is draw that margin, follow the finger in between, is what I read. Okay, so that your peripheral vision does not, read the blanks, and you only, and initially also you can just, reading as what Father McGrath said, and I'm going to be coming to that. So let me just take it forward, that the structure of the brain is such. And when Albert Einstein died, he was very clear that he'd written papers and he said that please use my body as a cadaver and do your research on my body. So I've also said that, and I wanted people that I should go through, brain death first, so that people can remove all the organs and give it to whoever requires it, and then whatever will be left of it, can either go to the research lab, and then the remains, can be handed over to my son, and then annihilated and taken care of. and then there's no big deal to go to Allahabad and put it in the Ganga and all that nonsense. You can just kind of put it in Alandi if you're in Pune or wherever, it doesn't matter. So normal percent, according to researchers, said that they use only 5 to 7% of the brain. Whereas when Albert Einstein was brains was dissected, it was, they said it was only 12%. Some books say no, it was 15%. So whatever it is, the fact of the matter is that there have been people who are very brilliant. One of them being Dr. Shakuntala. Um, Hey, there was a movie on her also. What's her full name? Shakuntala
Ma'am,
Devi
in
or
the
something?
movie, yes, ma'am, Shakuntala Devi.
Devi, na? Thank you so much. I was like, I was not trusting my own brain. Can you beat it? Please watch that movie by Vidya Balan. It's available.
Yes, ma'am, I watched it. It's amazing. Like nobody can believe he can do it so fast.
Yeah, so you see, she used it, okay? And she has used it so well that a lot of people approached her and they actually kind of troubled her where astrology is concerned. Maths is so beautiful and it can be done. And even you can do it, okay? All of you out here can actually increase your brain capacity by million times, okay? Because that's what you are. The brain cells are called neurons, and an average brain contains 15,000 million neurons. So many of them are dead because we are not using it, okay? So this split brain theory I've already done with you all, and trust me, just go through it. There's so much to it. There's the also this whole concept of reptilian brain, and or shall I show it to you or what? Let me see if this one is. Yes, Mahesh, you have something to say, baby? You just raised your hands. Unmute and talk to me, or is it by mistake? Yes, that's what it is, it is, that's what it is. So please get inspired by such people. And I would not suggest you all watching that movie, Beautiful Mind. But when I watched it the first time with Suresh sir, I was I was not happy with that movie. But when I watched it with my son, he insisted, he wanted to watch Beautiful Mind. Then I found that it was not that bad. And we do come in our way, but then it's okay. When we do come in our way, make friends with the person who's coming in your way, okay? And they have talked about some form of neurosis, which is split personalities and all that. And oh no, no, I'm not going to give away that movie, just see it. So there is the reptilian brain, then there's the limbic brain, and then there's the neocortex, okay? So reptilian brain is the instinctual or the dinosaur brain, which only talks about survival, okay? It is the survival of the fittest, and that's where the Charles Darwin's whole theory comes in. The limbic brain starts developing after this. This is about the emotional or the feeling brain. This is also called the mammalian brain. And the neocortex, the rational and the thinking brain, is what is the human brain. And we are so gifted that we have it, and so do the apes. And that is the reason why, whenever anything happens, anything that attacks us, the first thing we do if we feel strong enough is to fight, or the second thing is that we run away from the situation. So please stop withdrawing from the situation that you find difficult or challenging, and just kind of be there. So fight, flight, and freeze are the three modes that happen, okay? So this is like fight, flight, and freeze. So we have the prefrontal cortex, and then there's this amygdala. So this amygdala and this entire thing is looking after the emotions. So that's where the emotional intelligence develops. So please give yourself Reiki, give yourself energy, and there are many methods in which you can massage your brain. And guys, I'm really running short of time. So this I've already discussed. Please strengthen your corpus callosum. Very, very important to strengthen the corpus callosum, the left brain and the right brain. And by looking at this central thing, the central point of the Sri Yantra, take a screenshot of this image, put it on the group if you can. Otherwise, simply download it. It's the center of the Sri Yantra. You just type Sri Yantra, go to Google Images, you will find this image. Do it in any color of your type, you can change it into any color and start making paintings and drawings and creating mandalas and all that, because paintings and drawings also helps, and basically start stimulating the brain, the frontal, the parietal, the occipital and the temporal lobes, and then understand how. And do you see, earlier corpus callosum used to be just thread like structures between the left brain and the right brain, but right now it is so huge. The bridge in our human brain is increasing, and over a period of time, as the generations are going ahead, you guys are way superior to my generation, way superior, because I got my son late. I can just tell you one thing: you all are 1.5 generations below me, and um, hats off to you guys. What am I teaching you about all this? You should be teaching me the way to go about it. Please just create and facilitate a creative environment around you through enough stimulation, learning environment. Have ideal role models. Get into the diversity. I've already done that with optimal pressure, nurturing, and an open attitude, with a lot of creativity, innovation, and learning. And let me just take it and quickly run you through. Is it okay if we exceed the time by 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes today? Oh my God, what am I asking for? So those who want to knock out, okay, this is called the brain gym exercises. These are cross crawl, figure of eight design, okay? And, dancing when you go like this, and when you walk, when you march, okay, left, right, crawling, a baby crawling, all these are ways of stimulating your brain. You're feeling dull, you're not able to learn, get up and just start doing this PT exercise, where you touch your arms, you go down and do, stretch your limbs and walk. Okay. Do this, what this fellow over here, this African American or whoever he is doing. Do this. Okay. Do these cross crawls. Can you see this? The way this tapping and all is concerned. These are ways to increase the intelligence very strong. And please understand your conscious and your subconscious brain. And I've already talked a lot about it, but then there is a little more. That subconscious mind is very powerful, but not under our direct control. It keeps storing all kinds of information, and it's all about the recall. Okay, so you have to be the Mahavat. You have to be in control of this elephant, which is the subconscious mind. You are the conscious person, you are aware, and you've got it all within you. So intelligence is made out of heredity factors and environment. I've already spoken about it in personality. Okay, earlier it was said that it's more heredity and less environment. Later on it was said that it's more environment and less heredity. I agree with them. I would just say it is heredity and environment. Just know that your parents are very intelligent, your grandparents and your great grandparents. If they have survived and you've been born, it's proof that God has a plan for you. Okay. So heredity remains constant, but the environment can be enriched, and it can be done in two ways: the physical and the mental. So let's look at the physical environment. Please surround yourself with instruments which are, dictionaries and, encyclopedias. Just can you see behind me? Encyclopedias. And if I could, give you a chance and take out my computer for a few seconds. Okay, I may not be able to hear you, but let me just quickly take you to the shelf over here in my drawing room, and just see. I have the entire Britannica encyclopedia. Okay, can you see this picture? It has been taken from the internet, but I have the entire Britannica encyclopedia, and I have covered it with Suresh sir's photographs. And then there are other, these are coffee table books. Okay, and this heap out there of junk, this entire heap in my balcony is full of books that were in my office, and many books that I don't need. And there was a chance that I wanted to actually, so this is my house, where this is again in the passage where there are so many books in this shelf. Then, right now Divyansh is sleeping, so I'm not able to go there. So there are books all over my house, where reading and creating an enriched physical environment is absolutely essential for you all. Okay, so do that. And now let me take it further. Give me a sec. Okay, I have reconnected my comp, and where is the mouse? Okay, done that. This is not, the whole process was not to show off, but was to tell you that, guys, I'm following all the principles that I'm talking about with humbleness. I'm just telling you that surround yourself with a material that you can touch, feel, and learn from, and a lot of games also. So keep your table, your study table, your area. I always have a study table for my husband, a huge one. Then there were two study tables for my child, because we were first in a two-bedroom apartment. So I needed a study table for him, and I needed a study table for myself. Okay, and I was using the big study table with the computer and all that, and the small was with him. Right now, the small one has been taken away by a neighbor of mine, Shilpa Bandarkar's house, and my husband's study table has gone down. It's under the car. It's been dismantled, and there were some other issues and all that. But my son's study table is still there, which he's using, my big one, and I am using the dining table. I've changed the structure of the dining table, and my house is suited to what I want, the way I want it, because studying is more important. And get out of the bed syndrome. Do what you want. Get a cheap study table from OLX or whatever it is. Make sure that the environment where you study is like really beautiful. You have soft, boards. You have boards to write, and you have got notepads. You've got your everything. It's all there, and you got place for your computer. And please equip yourself with it, because online education is going to continue for you forever. Working from home will always be there for you. So create a very beautiful physical environment. And where your time chronotype is concerned, find out if you're a lark, sparrow, or owl, and work accordingly with the okay, create a proper routine, a timetable for yourself. Take some pauses, the Pomodoro method. Okay, I've already used that with you all, I think, and told you, sit straight as much as possible. I know I keep forgetting also, and I keep getting backaches because of that. And there's a tendency to go like this, with a hump like this it is, and look down at the computer and all that. But sit straight, keep your screen in such a way that you are able to look into it. And while you're looking into it, you are actually looking more at the camera and less at the screen. And yet there is a tendency to keep looking at yourself, and that's why you find that even this. So this is how it is. Plan your tasks. Take You work for 25 minutes, give yourself a break of 5 minutes. Now if this works for you, make it happen. Okay, this is what Suresh sir used to do it, like even generally without this tomato timer. And every 5 minutes, every 25 minutes, he used to take his own break, and those were his bathroom breaks. And I could hear the flush, I could hear. And sometimes he won't even use the flush. Okay, and the bathroom would be open also, and he would just be sitting on the bloody pot. And I'm sorry for both of us, we were both probably stuck at the inner stage for some or the other reason. So create books, newspapers, magazines, they should all be there. When Suresh sir was there, on our center table, on everywhere, we had these business magazines of Business India, Business Week, Time, Forbes, all this, Business Today. All these used to come. Thousands of rupees per month used to go for this, and he used to read Economic Times, and the whole works. Okay, so find out what suits you. Start with something small. Don't waste your money, but at the same time, start with something small. Start reading. A lot of you will say that, ma'am, we don't need to get books. We can get it all on the internet for free. But trust me, the physical touch and feel of the book, and looking at it, the screen all the time, please, you will start developing spectacles like the way I have. This is like reached number 3, 3.0 it is in reading. So, and I don't have problems of sugar and all that, but my chashma thing is increasing and all that. So watch good informative programs in the English language, because right now you need to develop. You cannot defend your country's Hindi and Marathi anymore. Please don't break out in Marathi and Hindi wherever you go. You notice that even when I'm taking the lecture here and there, sporadically I do break out in Hindi, but that too after finding out from you that all of you are comfortable with Hindi in this group and you don't have any foreigner students. Otherwise, you'll naturally see that even when I speak in a very fast tone, I actually speak more in English. 90 to 95% my language is in English, and just very rarely I break out in Hindi. Is been coming with practice. As a kid, I used to struggle with the English language because we are not surrounded by English speaking people. Yet in my case, I was, and some of you are probably not at all that lucky. And I was very lucky that when I got married, also Suresh sir was a complete Angreziyat personified, and you'll be here seeing his videos also, and they're there on the same channel. So please play games that build your vocabulary, they build your processing thinking. Get into, Scrabble, get into Big Boggle, and if you don't understand them, I can take a separate lecture, and I can actually, you all can come home also. I still have got the Scrabble, and till about a month before Suresh sir passed away, we used to play Scrabble, and we used to take photographs of it. So on my phone, there are times when this Google thing, throws up, that these are your Scrabble, um, you know, pictures that you've taken various years. And once or twice I put it on the Facebook also. So, and we used to help each other. We've got a separate Scrabble dictionary also. Where is it right now? I can't find it. Okay, so play Monopoly also, business games, and be competitive, but be collaborative also. Play what you are comfortable with. Okay, make sure that those people who are extremely achievement oriented, cut them bloody down, make them collaborate with you. And my son was like that, and my husband and I, we were very collaborative, and sometimes he used to get bored playing with us. Then he started getting his own friends in the building, and even till date, this guy is, finishing his engineering and his MBA and everything. He's got a job already, and he's already been, final placement has happened and everything. And he's actually interning even now. Since the past 1.5 years, he's interning. He's not getting any money from there, but he's learning. And he's got teachers like Deepak sir and many others who are there with him, and he's missing his dad like anything. But he still does Sudoku. Okay, this boy is not into words and all that. But I have got in my mobile a program which is on words, and I've done it over a couple of years, where every time I had time, I was to just open that application, and I've not had the courage to delete and restart it. I've this crossword. Okay, it's called word cross or something like that. Okay, I've done it on the phone. It's not exactly crossword, I'm not so good with this crossword, but this is what it looks like. And I don't know how to share what it is, but it's very cute. It's a way that can you see it? And if I try to play level 2701, I finished, if you notice over here. Okay, 2701. And if I try to play it more, go to it, it says that you already crossed it, and you can restart, or you can get into the daily puzzle. Until today, if I get a chance, I start with a daily puzzle, and it's pretty complicated, and it's fun. And this thing also is like the last game also. Okay, please, physical environment, take care of your eyes. Take care of your eyes. Keep using this method of cupping and taking care of your eyes. Do meditation, do your pranayam, do alpha breathing, and take care of the lighting around you in such a way that there's more natural light. And if you are in a house, in a room where it's not possible, then please use the white tube light or the golden, whichever suits you, depending on your mood, or have a combination of both of them. Okay, the dhoop and the chow, like, the so care for your eyes. Natural daylight is best. Keep blinking your eyes, because sometimes when you're stressed, you just, don't blink. Okay, keep hydrating yourself also. Keep drinking lots of water. Keep palming your eyes. Do your pranayams. Okay, because a lot of oxygen goes to the brain. It's all about oxygen which goes to the brain. 20 to 25% of our total intake of oxygen has to go to the brain. Therefore, do not, okay, and listen to music like this. Okay, this is like really beautiful. The flowing, natural flowing water. Okay, in the villages, when natural flowing water, that sound is to come, that's when this is, you put it on throughout the night. Do you see this is 1 hour thing? You get the same thing in, or you can put it on a loop on your mobile, um, or anywhere, even a 15-minute one, you can put it on a loop throughout the night in a very subtle way. If you keep listening to it, your intelligence will just go up. I have been doing this all my life, and I just feel that I am good. Okay, so there are those instruments also, that is the sound instruments, the basuri, the piano. These actually activate the corpus callosum and certain cells in your brain. Eat physically, good food, enriching food. I don't want to get into too many details. There's a video on it, but I cannot show it to you now because of paucity of time. Eat nuts, a lot of nuts, and I think you all can teach me more than I can. Okay, so this is a video on it, and how brain diet to improve your memory. Look for it. Adequate exercise is very, very important. These are vegetables exercising. You can exercise. A lot of sleep is required, but too much is, adequate amount of sleep is so essential. So please have a good night's sleep. Find out ways. There are lots and lots of videos which will tell you, and look at the Shri Yantra, and keep your motivation very high. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. So read these kind of, inspiring messages. This is what this guy looks like, and an elderly guy, and develop the strongest possible motive for remembering anyone's name, place, fact, event, and ask yourself, what are the benefits? Physical, mental, moral, cultural, economic. Give yourself money if money is what it is. Get people to give you money to learn. Okay, I get paid to learn because whenever I teach, I get to learn. Okay, so I get paid to learn, and I enjoy it thoroughly. Okay, and become interested in what you are learning, because that's what's going to take you forward. And resolve to remember. Okay, resolve. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, either ways you're right. Okay, so if you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you think, if you'd like to win but you think you can't, it is the most certain that you won't. Divyansh, please take care of the milkman. Tell him no, sorry, the maid has not come. Oh my god, I don't believe it. It's my last day and it's already 15. So auto suggestion, create, please telling yourself that you are the best. Okay, and there's, use as many senses as possible. Associate, link, use mnemonics, use contrast, you use music, use symbols, use rhyming. Okay, and guys, I'm feeling very sad, that this is too long, and I had not practiced this lecture, and kind of use the peg system. I really wanted to put you through all these processes. So I'll do one thing, is that I will make another video on it tomorrow or day after, and I'll put it on the YouTube, and you all can go through it. This part I'll do it separately. Okay, and if some of you can participate, it'll be nice. And ultimately, I just want to see, these are the books, Tucker SJV, from Better Yourself books in 1989, and then Dudley Jeffrey, there was something, and there was no uh, thing here put, and Raj Bapna's mind power study techniques. I, that became very popular at that time. So all I want to say is, guys, go out there, you know make yourself, take some risks, and just be happy. So this is my parting video to you. I really wanted to play it a long time ago, but I wanted to do it on the last day, so that you could be with it. Why is the sound not coming? OMG, I don't know why the sound is not coming. Can you see these birds are really enjoying it? And then there's this little mother bird who's getting her child to come out of the comfort zone. And the child wants to go back to the mama's palu. The child wants the teacher still. The child doesn't want to look around. And the child says no. And the mama says, come, follow me. And the child says no. And the mama is telling the child how to pick up the worm. And the child says, come and feed me. Okay? I want you to feed me. And the mama says, come and pick it up on your own. And the child, is wondering as to why this is happening. And the child grapples with the environment, with its inadequacy, and just runs towards the mother. Overcomes the hurdles. There are a lot of people around, and she's still saying, you picked it up, now feed me. And the mother says, okay, go pick your own. And the child starts looking out. Okay. And then just as she's about to enjoy, she finds that everyone is running away. And she's not able to run so fast. She's getting distracted. And then she drowns. And then she's frozen. And she's like, life is so unfair. And she's hiding. And the mother says, get up, come again, trial and error. And she says, no, feed me. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm lonely. And she's scared of that water. Okay. Starts developing her own potential. There's some other creatures, the snail comes and tells her and pushes her. And she's supposed to eat the snail from there. And see, she learns from them a new technique. Do you see that? This new blood. She learns a new technique from the environment. Okay? And is now fending and getting it for the others. Did you like this movie? 31 of you are still here in this room. So did you like this movie? Thank you so much. And I felt the best for the last. Okay. This is a Pixar movie, a Walt Disney and a Pixar movie. Did you notice that? It's such a beautiful one. I've got it from the internet, and see if you can find it. Otherwise, I'll look for it and also post it. Otherwise, if any one of you watched it earlier, Isha, so sweet. I'm so grateful. So find it and just put it in the group. Okay. And then I'll even put some of you in the other group also. So, put it in the other group also, in the evening group also. And I'll put some of the evening group members in your group so that You all can keep getting a lot of information in both the groups, and you can take it forward. So thank you so much, Pranav. I love your name. It's my favorite name. I wanted to name my, oh, wow, my favorite student. So whatever it is, guys, go out there and be there for the others, and take care of your life, take care of the things around you, and let's take you to the last part, that is think big, dream big, do it with a lot of love, and I would just like to say that all that you have thought about right now is to be absolutely, free and to be joyous. So wherever you are, whichever part of the world you are, have your goals. So think big, dream big, have plenty of goals, be the leader in your own rights, dream big with perseverance, with a lot of love around you. Books are all around you. You already have all the resources you need. Walk tall, walk strong, and create a mark for yourself, and know that life is there to take care of you. Your parents are there, your teachers are there, and yet go out like this bird and remember that the key ingredient to success factor in life is to be absolutely free and to be joyous and to be victorious always. And a goal without a plan is just a wish. And yet, I really pray for you that your wishes do come true. Just face your fears, get over them, and you know that you are the best. And you've already watched this film. I'm going to be posting it. Remember that you are awesome. Okay. And with that, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you. Oh my God, I've not even shared the screen, and I'm just looking at it without sharing the screen. So thank you so much. And God bless you. This is my last moment. Today I'm going to wait for each one of you to, put some comment or something. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. And I'm going to save the chat all over again. I don't think the chat gets saved when I put it on YouTube. So this is going to continue. The YouTube thing is still on. And thank you, Anshu, for writing your message. Thank you so much, ma'am, for these beautiful sessions. I am really very grateful and inspired by energy. Great energy you have. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anshu, you said that. Thank you so much. God bless you. Safa, thank you, ma'am. We really enjoyed this session. And I hope this being the last session, like I'm so glad that you all enjoyed it. Inspire those who have not come in the group at all. Inspire them to watch the videos. And on Monday or so, I'm going to talk. By that time, I'm going to talk to ma'am, and we will come up with thank you, Sushti. Thank you, Purvi, a lot. And give me a feedback as to what else. Isha, I'm going to miss you too, baby. I love you. And I just don't know what I'm going to do with my morning tomorrow now, from tomorrow onwards. And what am I going to do in the evening also, without those kids. Thank you, Tahir, Gary. Thank you so much. And thank you, each one of you here. And if it is possible, can we have another photograph session where you can show your faces if possible, and I can take a screenshot? And all of you, is it possible for you all to come on to the screen and show your faces so that I can have a last selfie with you? We had it on the first day also. Thank you so much. And thank you, Kinjal, for still being here. And, if she's still here. Thank you, Anushka. Thank you so much. Each one of you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. And if you can come forward and show your face, and we take a last selfie or whatever, if it is possible for you. Otherwise, thank you, Soham. Thank you. Are one of the ones who always comes in, right in the morning, in the beginning. I really love it. And Soham is something which is very close to Gurudev Shishi Ravi Shankar's way of the Kriya, where we say Soham. So everything, it is like Aham Brahmasmi. Anshu, Asha, you're just awesome. Thank you so much. Isha, you have been, Isha Dosani, you have been like, there. Mahesh, thank you very much. Dhruti, Kaushik, Larissa, Akshada, Vaidehi, Shravani, Tahir, uh, Safa. Safa, you have been really kind of, been there. Purvi, Priya, Nikhil, Ishan, thank you so much. Kamya, Pranjal, Mohan Sheikh, Mahesh, Pranav, my favorite name, Dia, Mohammed, Gada, Pranjal again, thank you so much. And Hitesh, Taleja, then Faheen, Nived, Shivam, Dia, a lot of names now. A lot of people have logged off. So Kaushik, I think I've already mentioned you. So God bless you all. Take care, and we will. I know even I'm feeling very nostalgic because this is really my last session with you guys, and I'm gonna truly miss you all. Really, really miss you all, and I don't know what to say. Like. Thank you. Just thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. Thank you for attending. Inspire the others also to go through the videos to gain something, if not for learning too much, at least for the exams, because if that is their priority. But trust me, all of you who are present here, who are still here in this room, let me tell you one thing, getting marks out of me is very easy. Just keep in touch. Just come onto the Zoom sessions when I announce in your group, that it's going to happen from this time to this time. I'll keep the link will be the same every time. Okay, come on that link, same thing, and we'll fix different timings, and we can even combine it with the evening batch and maybe do it at a convenient time for you all in the evening. And after before the exam, I'm going to be talking to you what's going to happen after having discussed it with ma'am once again. Though I've conducted it last year, so ma'am has already told me that we are fine with the way it happened last year, and we are not going to interfere at all. And goodbye. Have a lovely, lovely life. And this is not. And chalte chalte, I have a song for you. Yes, Purvi, you wanted to say something.
Where are the recordings uploaded?
Yes, Purvi.
Where are the recordings uploaded?
They're there on YouTube, and just go on to it. I'll be able to give it to you right now on because it's on. So I'll just put it in the chat box, and if you can just copy it from this chat box and post it onto your group again. So this is today's recording is just happening. Okay, so this is it. Just go to this channel, okay, Purvi, and subscribe to it, and you will get all of them. They have not been worded properly, and 3 or 4 videos for the first few days are still to be uploaded, and I am quite tired of telling my son to do it. So today I'm going to pick up the stick and make him do it. So today, tomorrow, and day after also, all of them will get uploaded, and I will keep changing the language, and I'll ask him to do it because I still don't know how to do it. I'm depending on him. That's why it's not being done. So if any one of you are willing to help me out with it, I will be able to share the link how to put it in the description box and to change the title for all of them, day 1, day 2, day 3, and the whole works. And otherwise you can post this. Okay, and once you subscribe and once you go to the channel, okay, you'll be able to get all the links. And on Monday I'm going to keep a session. And what would be a convenient time for you all? It's already 11. I'm feeling so sorry that I'm still taking your time. What would be a convenient time? Any one of you can just quickly unmute and tell me, or just type and tell me which would be a convenient time in the evening. Will 4 to 6 be a convenient time? Between 4 to 6, so I can do it at 5 o'clock or 4:30 or something, where you're back from college. Do you have any extra classes by any way? Okay, thank you, Anshu. I think that is convenient, and I can tell the others also to join in. And I still have the Zoom where more than 100 people can, up till 500 people can join in. In total, only 300 students are there. So not so many have joined the classes. So many have not missed. They've just missed it. Okay. And you have any issues anywhere, you all are most welcome to call me. Huh? I'm one of those teachers who's available. Yeah, 24/7. I'm the 3 a.m. friend also. Okay, I can be that. Try me. Even in the middle of my sleep, I will wake up and talk to you. So sweet. And chalte chalte, I'll sing a song for you all. Okay. Yesterday, while I was just thinking about how will I end, I just thought about it and I said that usually people sing the song. So let me. I've not written it down anywhere. So let me see if I can kind of put an attempt to it and make it go ahead and chalte chalte ये सेशंस याद रखना कभी भूलना नहीं एंड हरदम याद रखना हंसते खिलते मुस्कुराते रहना कभी सेशंस हर वक्त सेशंस याद रखना हमको भी याद रखना चलते चलते मेरे ये सेशंस हमारे ये सेशंस याद रखना कभी अलविदा ना कहना those are double negatives I didn't want to use it हंसते खिलते बस यूं ही तुम मुस्कुराते रहना ज्ञान फैलाते रहना काम करते रहना प्यार करते रहना कभी अलविदा ना कहना कभी अलविदा ना कहना So I don't like to say goodbye. I just like to say see you. See you soon. We will be meeting, of course. We are going to be conducting the exams and we are going to be conducting the other things also. And we'll keep in touch. So, if at all it's a goodbye, because I don't know what life has in store, if at all it's a goodbye, goodbye. Take care. God bless. Go with God. Be happy wherever you are. I love you all a lot. And now it's getting a little tough for me to. I do get attached. I'm so sorry. I'm not able to kind of, compartmentalize and be that linear the way I spoke about how Germans can be. And at the end of the day, I'm a mom and, you know, love you guys. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Purvi. You don't have to put direct messages. You can write all that in. And you already have my number and you have my, I'll post my email ID in both the things and God, God really bless you and take care of you. And remember one thing that you always have the divine protection around you. You have your mother's love, you have your father's love, and you have the love of all the mother and father like figures around you. And just learn to accept people, learn to accept yourself, and learn to, appreciate yourself for everything that you are. Stand tall, be tall, and you be happy. Take care. I'll just no, I'm not able to save the chat. I think I have to stop the